Welcome everyone to round 2 of October 23rd's Star Wars Unlimited Night over at Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. If you guys are looking for a place to play some Star Wars Unlimited, check out Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. Thursday nights, 6 p.m., $5 entry. Well, folks, in round number 2, Vader is back. This player over here is a big man of the Vader. He loves bringing the Vader, especially the Vader showcase that you could only get at the first ever Galactic Championship on the prize wall. So if you want the showcase Vader from the starter deck for Spark of Rebellion alongside the Luke Skywalker as well, you had to get it from the Galactic Championship. So this player is back once again with some more Vader. I know they're joking a little bit about what they want to do when this type of Vader rotates out. They will have the Battle of Hoth Vader, which is store brand. We got Vader at home for this Vader, and then we also have of course the TIE Swarm Vader. So I think he'll probably move into TIE Swarm. So and to pair it with it, we got a green, just a normal all green base. And over here we got Revan Crystal Caves. So we got Revan Force Yellow against Vader Spark Green. So before we jump in, let's discuss the leaders and a little bit what we should expect from the decks. Vader from Spark of Rebellion is action, pay 1, tap him when you play a villainy unit. If you play a villainy unit for that turn, deal 1 damage to your opponent's base and 1 damage to one of your opponent's unit. Flip 4/7. Reason why we're in the green, so we can ramp up to flip on on the 6th turn. So on your 6th resource instead of your 7th resource. Flip over. He is a 5/8 that on attack deal 2 damage to a unit. And of course, like we said, we have a normal green base. So we're going to expect to see some green-red villainy, some aggression, some real tempo, some hitting stuff in the face. But we're also seeing those really good green villainy cards. Like we're going to see the Darth Vader that can ambush. We can see Mauls. We can see all of that for this. And then over here, we have Revan Force Yellow. Revan. Also, man, we got showcase leaders as well, folks. We got showcase leaders for you all, beating each other in the face. Which showcase is better? I like the Vader one because it's a Cloud City Vader, and I don't know much KOTOR in my time, so I would say the Vader's my better one. But anyways, Revan on his front side states that when an enemy unit defeats a unit by battle and survives, given an experience token, he flips 4/5 with 4/6 and does have restore 1. And again, on his backside, when one of your cards defeats an enemy unit and survives, get an experience token. We are running a Force Yellow base, meaning that whenever we have a Force unit that attacks, gain the Force. So that's what we're expecting. So we're probably expecting some kind of like mid-range control with quick using skills like waylays and surprise strikes to quickly beat our opponent in the face, using stuff like Shinhati, stuff like that to quickly try to win out against our opponent. So without further ado, let's see who will take a victory in this round. Here we go, folks. We're going to start off with the Vader, bringing out a TIE Fighter. Then we're going to go for the Kylo Ren. And then we're going to go for a Stormtrooper coming down as well. So the Kylo Ren, once again, does have the ability to, whenever you use the Force, whenever I think he's an upgrade's attached to him, you can use the Force to get an ability. There. Anyways, we have a Death Star Stormtrooper and then a TIE Fighter on the Vader side. We could have technically used the ability of the Vader as well. We could have paid 1 to tap because we did play it into the TIE Fighter. So anyways, we're going to go swing 2 damage. We're going to trade out Revan for the Stormtrooper. Just look at that. Revan can't even beat a Stormtrooper. But we do have Overwhelm there, so we are going to do 1 Overwhelm damage. We're going to go for the Super Laser Tech to immediately start that ramp on the villainy side of it. So anyways, we're going to claim the Force, of course, because technically Revan did swing because Revan was the start of the turn. So anyways, we're going to go for a Shinhati to come down with, of course, hidden and does come in shielded as well. A 4/2 that's really, really nice to punch into your opponent's base. So it's very interesting to see what yellow Force cards they're playing. Like there is like Will the Force, what's almost all like a possible escape is a one. What else is... Man, I have not played enough Force Yellow at all through the LOF meta to really know what all the Force Yellow cards are. I played a lot of other cards. But anyways, we're going to go for the Super Laser Tech, hitting the Shinhati to knock out the shield there to put itself into the resources, meaning that the Vader side is now at 5 resources instead of 4. Once again, Super Laser Tech on defeat can put itself into the resources standing, which is so nice. It's going to be so sad when that rotates out and we don't have really a replacement for it. It feels bad right now for green because they're losing so much ramp. Like, Resupply Care right now is like its only major ramp card, and it's going to feel so sad. So anyways, we're going to go for the 4. Go for the resupply. Ooh, Vader's going to be able to come out next turn, folks, because again, we are now at 5. Anyways, we're going to burn the Force to see, as I have foreseen, to see the top card of our deck, and then you could pay so many resources and then play that card immediately. So I'm going to go for Darth Revan coming down for the 4 there as well. So you do get to reduce the cost of the card. So I forgot about, as I have foreseen, as one of the cards you could play out with this strategy. So Darth Revan has now come out as well. So anyways, we're going to then be able to go for Force Choke, killing off good old 𝐒𝐄𝐄 there. Our opponent does get to draw 1 card, so they got that draw off of the Force Choke there. We did have a Force unit to reduce the cost of it. So anyways, TIE Fighter swinging in for 2 damage onto the Force Yellow base. So this one's going pretty well. This is pretty good there. I would have not seen that, but yeah, that double turn of ramp is really good there, because now the Vader does get to come out before the Revan. The same turn the Revan is going to be able to come out, because again, I believe Revan is a 5 and Vader is naturally a 7, but thanks to the 2 ramp cards, Vader is now ramp coming out this turn as well. Now again, he technically can't kill Malak, because of Malak having an extra 2 HP over Vader, who swings for 5 damage. But again, Vader is a 5/8, also does the 2 damage on attack as well. So technically Malak can die here as well. You'd also put Revan's lightsaber under the Vader as well to give it the grit, which makes it even more nasty and give that additional buff. So we'll have to kind of figure out what the Revan side wants to do, because it looks like they have the initiative here to start the turn. Yeah, because the last thing they played out was the Malak, and it looks like the Vader side is going to just going to be sitting there. So yep, here come a good old Revan, a 3/6. Why do I call him a 4/6? Maybe he should have been a 4/6. He should have been a 4/6 with grit. Originally, I guess he was supposed to have grit overall as his thing. So anyways, we're going to go for a Dark Trooper here to play for the 3 to allow for the Dark Trooper to come out, and then that's going to be able to guard us immediately. The problem is that is immediately going to be able to give the Malak an additional AP here, because it will survive the attack and kill a unit. So anyways, we're going to go for the fallen Corrupted Lightsaber. We're going to go for the Vader flip at 5/8. Anyways, we're going to kill off the Dark Trooper. We're going to take 3 damage, but we do have Overwhelm on the Malak as well, so we do overwhelm a bunch of damage. And then the Revan is going to give that a +1/+1 counter, because it did survive battle with a enemy unit, which is pretty interesting. So anyways, again, the Corrupted Lightsaber does give the -2/-2 to the defender, so that does mean that only 1 damage went back to Malak, which is really nice. That is actually a pretty interesting combo to use that to make sure that you can buff the Malak on a constant basis. So anyways, the Vader does be able to swing over. It is going to kill off the Revan here. It is going to have to use the ability to immediately kill off Revan, so it's going to take back 3 damage there, just meaning that Revan can't really do much this turn, meaning that Revan would have to tap itself to give another experience token. We are going to gain the Force back because of the Malak. That is mandatory. The Force base does demand that you gain the Force back every time one of your Force, if you don't have it, to gain back the Force from one of your guys. So yeah, pretty interesting state here, because technically the Malak could swing into the Vader here to kill it and take back 2 less damage, but only put on the 3 and then getting that experience token. We're going to go for the Dooku. Dooku is going to be able to ambush into, of course, the Vader there. Is going to be able to not kill it, because it's going to be 4 damage. We're going to be putting ourselves to 7, and it looks like we, I don't know why we have now, there are 2 of them in the graveyard there, because it looked like we should have just been able to bring out the Darth Tyrannus, or Dooku, as I would like to call him, out. But yeah, really cool card. Whenever you have the Force, he gains ambush and comes in shielded as well, which is so nice. So that means you can play him. If you have the Force, you give him the shield first and ambush him. He can ambush without even worrying about dying. So he's a 4 ambusher that doesn't even die for 1, which is pretty nice. Really, really nice one. Now again, it couldn't get an experience token anyways, because again, it didn't kill the Vader. So we're going to have to matter what we want to do here with that Vader, because the Vader will be dying this turn here because of that. So if the Revan player does have the initiative, which they don't. Oh, OB! Oh, man, here we go for Overwhelming Barrage. We're going to immediately kill off the good old Malak here, so that the Malak taking all the damage from Vader onto Malak. They're just making sure to kill it. I know people will be happy when Overwhelming Barrage is completely out of the format. So anyways, we're just going to kill the Vader, so the Vader can't retaliate onto our opponent's base there. It should be tapped down. Technically, because then it could you could play a card, and then if you have on 1 resource, you could technically do 1 damage to one of your 1 damage to your opponent's base. We're gonna go for the Aura Sing coming down with the Ray 2 and the Hidden there. Again, I like Hidden. I like it. I thought that was a really cool mechanic. I thought it gave you a lot of safety net to protect yourself. So we're gonna see what the Vader player wants to do. They really are low on cards because they ramped a lot, but that's something to worry about. Again, a lot of times in the late game, once you ramped up to that really high level, I think that because they put a price on your head into their resources here, is we're going to put out, Reinforcement Walker. Really cool one there. Then we're going to be able to draw. So you look at top card of your deck. If you draw it, you can just draw it, or you can spin to the graveyard to heal 3. Yeah, resupply carrier is really going to help you in this phase because there's not much you really need to do with the resupply carrier. Anyways, one deal 3 damage from the Aura Sing onto the resupply walker. That TIE fighter, that little TIE fighter that could, is doing everything he can. Carbine is coming down again. He gets to take up to 8 remaining health points on the board. Again, the walker is down 6 health points, and the TIE fighter is at 1 as well. So that is enough for Cad Bane to take them both. Oh man, that's a dangerous little Cad Bane. He knows how to take some people, doesn't he? So yeah, that reinforcement walker was really good there. And again, once you hit this late game for a lot of players, like resupplies and super laser techs, a lot of those sometimes just get immediately put into the resources here because they're kind of pointless at the late game stage. Maybe not super laser techs, because that's at least a 2-1 body that could swing. We're going to go for the second sister down here. We're going to go, of course, we do have a Dark Trooper over there as well. And again, once Cad Bane attacks, Cad Bane can allow your opponent to get back one of their guys that Cad Bane has captured. We're going to go for the one chick that's about the dark side action. You can use the Force and then rest one of your opponent's units. Anyways, we're going to go for the Vader to ping 1 damage to the base and then ping 1 damage to a unit of their choice, whatever one they want to decide to do. This is a pretty good game right now. I mean, we're going to go for the Cad Bane. Again, the Cad Bane is never going to swing because the Cad Bane can technically give back opponent one of the 2 guys back under them. So anyways, we're going to finish up with going for a price on your head. I don't know why we need to continually ramp. So we're going to put a price on your head under the Cad Bane. So when it dies, our Vader player gets to take the top card of their deck and put it into resources. A little strange. I would have resourced that by now. I mean, there's not really a reason to resource another card here or even risk the top card of your deck going into your resources unless it's a Smogo card like Timely Intervention, which would have been really nice. That would have been a great thing to do with a War Walker, is Timely Intervention, the War Walker. So anyways, we're going to go for, it looks like an attack, resting the Dark Trooper. We're going to swing in the First Order Trooper, killing it, and then 1 indirect damage coming in on the attack, on the death there as well. And then we're going to go for the sister attacking and killing off the Death Trooper, and then it's going to trigger Revan's ability to give a +1/+1 counter to the sister, and then the sister will trigger as well on her attack skill as well. And then we're going to have to decide to see what we want to do here. We're going to go for Open Fire. That will kill off the Cad Bane. That will trigger price on your head, and that will bring back the War Walker. But unfortunately, the War Walker and a TIE Fighter on the ground, apparently. The TIE Fighter on the ground. So then we're going to go for a price on your head, which of course adds itself as a resource. Yep, there we go. We've cracked the TIE Fighter now being on the ground. We're going to go for a constructed lightsaber on the sister there. We still have the Adaptive Anger, which I finally now remember the name now that I see it. Anyways, we're then going to go for the effect. We're going to ping 1 more damage on the second on the sister there. Again, because she's villainy, she does get a raid 2 from that constructed lightsaber as well. But anyways, now that the Walker is back up on the board, so that does mean on the attack, we are able to look at the top card of our deck and either pitch it or draw it. If we draw it, we just draw it. But if we pitch it, we gain 3 health back on our base. This is a grind fest. Anyways, we're going to go for the Adaptive Anger to immediately burn the Force 2, then rest the guy. I thought that's what it did. Anyways, we're then going to tap a whole bunch. We're going to go for OB! We're going to immediately just kill off the sister. She does have, because of the +1, and it looks like that's just going to be a straight scoop up there from our Revan player. It looks like they're going to just scoop that one up and give it to the Vader player overall. So Vader is going to walk away with game number 1. Let's move into game number 2. All right, game number 2. Game number 1 was a slogfest. So we're going to start with a Revan and then a TIE Fighter. Hey, that looks exactly like game number 1. Anyways, but then we're going to trigger Vader's effect to ping 1 damage on the base and 1 damage on good old Mr. Kylo Ren of there, using the effect, of course, of Vader. They didn't tap down the Vader because they were about to go to the next round. Technically, if you do go to big competitive tournaments, do remember you are required to do that. That is part of the effect. But here at the locals, we're kind of friendly. So we're not going to bite any kneecaps if you don't tap down your leader. But under technicality, you're supposed to tap it down. Just remember that for big tournaments like PQs and regionals and sector qualifiers or anything like that. Anyways, both players are set their 3 resources. We're going to go for the skill of immediately adding a corrupted lightsaber under the Kylo Ren. If we had the Force, we could have done something with that. Oh no, it's not going to matter anyways. We're going to go for an Open Fire to kill off the Kylo Ren, denying the Force from good old Kylo. So anyways, we're going to then swing for the TIE Fighter, did 2 more damage, and then we'll just be able to pass those. The Revan player has just taken the initiative here, which is all really what they could do. They burned 2 of their resources to play that corrupted lightsaber under the Revan, which they thought would be able to swing and give them that force tag. Maybe it could have been a little better to swing immediately with the Revan to get the force so that you wouldn't have to worry about potentially dying, because a lot of times I feel like force bases, the best way to choke them out is just to choke them out of force units. Once a force unit is dead, they really can't do much. We're going to go for the 𝐒𝐓𝐀𝐘. We're going to go for the super laser tech, which is really good there. That is going to be a ability card, meaning that Vader will be able to ping the 1 shield off of 𝐒𝐓𝐀𝐘. So, yep, the 𝐒𝐓𝐃 is going to lose the shield, meaning that the super laser tech technically can kill the 𝐒𝐓𝐃 here. So, anyways, the TIE Fighter swinging in. The little TIE Fighter that could. The coffin jockey can do it. I know he can. Anyways, not too bad. I mean, it's kind of ending up the exact same way we saw round number 1 kind of going. But this time, Revan is going to be able to flip before Vader actually got the ramp going. So that is something very important to think about. Last time we saw around this time that both leaders were capable of bouncing themselves out of their, using their epic actions to summon themselves onto the battlefield. So we did see that, and Vader was able to knock out Revan in 1 kill. Shot here. So the 𝐒𝐓𝐃 needs to attack here because, again, you need to get the force tag, especially if you have force unit. And anyways, because you also know the super laser tech is going to kill it. We now have 6. Vader just needs 1 more resource to awaken itself. Revan is going to come out on the board right now. If the Vader side has any way to resupply carrier or resupply itself, it does have the ability to bring Vader out this turn and can kill Revan before Revan could get out a little out of hand. We're going to go for open fire, dealing 4 damage to the good old Revan here, just immediately being able to deal 4. That is 2 open fires, by the way, that have been burnt out of the deck. Running to go for, okay, we got a good old constructed lightsaber. Oh no, it's not going to matter because we're immediately going to spend our last 2 resources to immediately go for our first choke, killing off good old Revan before he can even do anything. Again, the constructed lightsaber gives you, when you're revealing a unit, a raid of 2, which made Revan a little more powerful on his swing. But anyways, the force tag is with our opponent as well, so they're going to pay 1. We're going to go for, as I have seen to look at the top card of the deck, they can decide to use the force to play it, so we're going to go for an Adept of Anger for free from there, and then we're just going to swing the little TIE Fighter that ever could. Xander, the Revan player, really isn't playing like a space presence. That TIE Fighter, last 2 games, the TIE Fighters have been nasty. So anyways, last resource off of the Vader, right, because they're at 6 because of the super laser tech. But anyways, 1 damage to the base, 1 damage to the Adept of Anger. I am going to be sad to lose the Spark Vader. I probably should play him 1 more time before he jumps out of the format. You know, I need to do that. One more run with good old Spark Vader for myself before he jumps out of the format in March. I guess I have all of February technically to play him. But time is running out on play good old Spark Vader in Premiere. Again, he's not gone. Eternal is going to exist. As we see, the Adept of Anger is going to swing in for 1 damage on the base. The Eternal format does exist, folks. We are going to be able to do stuff with that. But again, who knows what Eternal is going to look like. I know they Fantasy Flight wants to do PQs and stuff with Eternal, but I think it's going to be pretty cool. Versus Raider with Flare doing 2 damage to the base, 2 damage to the Adept of Anger, killing off the Adept of Anger, and then 2 damage to the base. There is 1 standing resource to allow for the Vader to flip. And by the way, the Vader can flip this turn. We are at the 7. We're going to go for the Revan play. We're going to deal the 2 damage from the TIE Fighter that ever could. I mean, it's not done yet, but I think the Revan player automatically should know where this is going, because they could tap the Vader, use its effect to deal 1 damage to the 𝐂𝐻, and then flip over 𝐂𝐻, then flip over Vader, swing on base for the 5 damage, and then do 2 damage to 𝐂𝐻, immediately killing up the 𝐂𝐻 before, again, choking out the force base. Yep, there we go. We're going to go for the 1 damage to base and 1 damage to the 𝐂𝐻. Kylo Ren there. And then we're just going to go for the pass. Interesting. We know for a fact our opponent has the ability to flip. We know they paid 6 resources for the Ruthless Raider. We know for a fact that they had 1 standing for the Vader. I don't know why they didn't flip there. Cad Bane, everybody's going to steal both of those under himself. Oh, that nasty Cad Bane, man. Oh, you always like it. Plus, funny enough, they have the Vader in hand that can actually come down as well. So what they can do here is even more funny. They could go for the ambushing Vader from the hand, ambush him into the hitting 5 for, that's exactly what I was thinking. So anyways, here comes the ambush Vader. Ambush Vader is going to first look at the top 10 cards of your deck. You can play a ability card with a cost 3 or less from that 10 on the field for free. And then can ambush in. So you just ambush into the Cad Bane, dealing the 5 damage to it, leaving yourself, technically killing yourself because the Cad deals back 7 damage. that Dark Trooper is going to be annoying there, because again, now the Dark Trooper's down. This does mean that Kylo Ren will die, technically the Dark Trooper, if you don't have a lightsaber or anything like that. So anyways, we haven't decided where the ambush is coming in. Technically, I would go after the Cad Bane, but you could also go after the Kylo Ren here, because the Cad Bane is the only thing that got played that turn. So just kind of have to figure out. So, yep, we are going to go run the Vader into the Cad Bane there, and then basically go from there. So anyways, the Revan player should be technically tapped out here, folks, because of what they did for the steal there. So anyways, we're going to just count it out. We're going to flip for the Vader. Yep, the Vader is going to be able to come out of the board state, and then we're going to swing in. It looks like the Revan player just took the initiative there, and then we're going to deal the 2 damage. We're going to immediately be able to kill off the Cad Bane, because again, on the attack, deal 2 damage to a unit that's going to get the 2 bodies, and there's pretty much nothing else my opponent, the Revan Force Yellow player, can do. It's pretty much just a dead game, because they're going to get both back their bodies. We saw they have another Cad Bane, but that isn't going to do much against that, because again, not really going to matter, even because they can't steal leaders with Cad Bane, so there's not much they could do. They could take, like, say, the Roof. They could take, like, they can't take both the Roof's Raider and the Dark Trooper, because that equals 9, and that will exceed Cad Bane's 8. So yeah, there's not much they could have really have done there. I guess they did. I think they showed. I think they did show. What's the card? The card that freezes you, not frozen in carbonite. No good to me dead. They did show no good to me dead, so they could no good to me dead the Vader and try to force out the game. But the problem is, again, even if you drop in the problem is you couldn't do that and Cad Bane. Cad's already 7 cost on himself as well. So not much you could really do there. It looked like, yeah, the Vader had the entire game there, but nonetheless, it was a real good one. I'm glad to see some people are still trying Revan. I think Revan is pretty fun right now in the form with the sec cards, but he's not great. I think he's going to struggle hard in the post rotation. I don't think he's going to be good at all. He's not good right now either way, but he's still a fun leader. Don't get me wrong. If you can get him his ramp right, he's a fun leader to play around with, especially with all the new sec cards. Give him a try. Give him a try in sec. There's some very fun things you can do with him with all of the new KOTOR 2 cards. But nonetheless, I want your thoughts, guys, down in the comments on Vader, Spark Green, and Revan Force Yellow. What are your thoughts over on the 2 leaders? Also, did I miss anything in the replay that you guys saw on the players? And all of that. And while you're commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you can notify when my videos go live for you. And we'll see you next time on Dragons TCG.